Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we have a new episode and we start with this preview. Next we have the unboxing like always. Feel free to pause the video every time you need. In this shot we can see some of my sizes in other brands and also the label of the box. I didn't find anything else in the box. In this shot we can see both shoes, but we start with the left one because we want to see if the quality is consistent or not. For those of you that care about cushioning, you should pay attention to this part. In this shot we can see the labels that came with these sneakers, but I won't spend too much time with them, so pause the video if you need. This time I decided to bring this pair because they are one of the most inexpensive running sneakers that I found on Adidas webpage, so let's see how they are. Here in Spain the price for these sneakers is 50 euros. I'm not sure how much they are in United States because I didn't find them on the website in this moment, so I'm expecting to be something similar. After first try with them on my feet, I was thinking what will be the best use for these sneakers. And I believe if you are thinking to run fast with them for short distances, this is the sneaker for that. If you are wondering why I'm saying this, it's because the midsole doesn't have too much stack, is quite a bit firm. To be honest, I think it's the firmest I found in Adidas so far, so if you do enjoy cushioning in other sneakers, this is not the one for you. If you want to improve the cushioning in them, I think the only option is that to buy different insoles, much thicker, softer, and maybe those they can add some cushioning to these sneakers. In the shot we can see the outsole, which for me is almost decent, to say this way. My only complaint will be that canyon on the back there, right under the heel. I think is completely unnecessary to be there, and I wish they were having a bit more thickness in that rubber outsoles, but they are still one of the best I found in 2023 with good rubber outsoles, you know, because we don't have any more decent sneakers with full rubber outsoles. It's so hard to find them. I'm struggling to find something better than these ones these days. So back to the cushioning, I will describe it a little bit more firmer than the one you can get from EVA foam, for example. So that's a lot to say, you know, that is very firm midsole. So you have to think in that if you're planning to buy them. I actually decided to ask you a favor, and if you know sneakers that they have full rubber outsoles, just let me know in the comments and I will try to bring them to the channel if they are well-known brands, because I want to buy them from the official web pages. Other thing, by the way, my size is 8 US, so they have to be in that particular size, otherwise I cannot try them, you know. In this model, I did have to size up half size, so normally I have 41 1 1/3 and this one are 42, so half size bigger. I had to go for these ones. They are not true to size, for me at least. In the shot we can see the insoles. Probably this is the reason why they don't have too much bounce back or soft cushioning. Not only the midsole. Here the insoles also don't help very much with that. As you can tell, they are sticky in these sneakers. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but depends how it's made, you know. When they are sticky, I prefer to have just some lines on them with some glue, and that will be it, you know. Like, I don't want to have glue all over the insole because they won't give you that bounce back after that. They are too impregnated. As you can tell, this midsole, it has some holes inside, but to say the truth, those holes don't help very much with the cushioning. I mean, they are still very firm, very hard to the feet. Under the toe box, you can see some channels. Those are made to make them a little bit more softer. Like I said, they don't help very much, so you have to know what kind of sneakers they are, these ones. So I do recommend to try them in a store if you can before you buy them. Because of that firm midsole, I don't think everyone will like them, so it's hard to recommend them. The upper on these sneakers, as you can imagine, is very basic, a little bit stretchy, but slightly thin. They do have like 2 layers. They have some padding, like you can feel it. For the price, I can't say I was expecting a better upper, like this is pretty okay if you don't expect too much from them. You have to lower your expectations in comparison with Ultra Bounce, because those are somehow as firm as these ones or very similar, Maybe those they have still a little bit more cushioning than this one, but they are close, From these sneakers, I'm expecting a very good durability for some reason. I mean, seeing that outsole, midsole, and the upper, I think they will last. They won't be the best you had in many ways, but they will last for sure. I know that some of you will ask me if I will buy these sneakers, if I consider to buy them, like will I pay the money for them? I only consider to buy them if I knew that I can find some good insoles, otherwise they are too firm for my taste. I usually like the Fresh Foam from New Balance, that is much softer. They usually have more stack than this Adidas, so because of that I do like softer cushioning. This is not the kind of sneaker that I will buy, but I like the way that is made, for the price that it has, is well made. If I only could find some sneakers, for example with boost material and having this kind of outsoles, that would be awesome for me. Or maybe with Light Strike Pro and having this kind of outsoles, like full rubber outsole. About the padding, I think is a little bit more than I wish they were having, but not extreme, like Ultra Bounce, it has it very similar with this one. And on the tongue, I think it's the correct thickness. Ultra Bounce has it a bit more thicker than this one, so I do prefer the tongue from this one over the one from Ultra Bounce. In this shot we can see the internal label, and now the both insoles. And here we have the weight test in grams and ounces for those that need these values. In the shot I'm showing my feet and with these insoles, and I have to remember you that this particular model I did go half size up and they are still fitting me correctly. So although I have a regular fit, my feet they are still a little bit more wider than these insoles, but that it doesn't mean that I don't have enough space inside. I actually have plenty of space, so this is the correct size in my opinion, or correct width better said. In the shot we can see the size of these laces and also a better look without the laces. About the laces, the tips are strong and the elasticity is right on point. Maybe they are not the best materials, but still good enough for the price. As you can tell from the shot, that tongue is not gusseted tongue. I wish it was, but at least it has that, I don't know how to call it, where you can insert the laces to keep it in one place. That is still something useful. Not the best way to make it, but not too bad, you know. The width on this tongue is good enough, considering that I have medium high arch and it still covers that arch somehow, so that's good enough. About the cage, the thickness is right on point, I would say. I wouldn't go thinner than this. That can be a problem if you go thinner for durability. As you can tell, the front end is reinforced with some plasticky rubber-ish material in the interior, as it's supposed to be. In the shot we can see the thickness of this upper is correct, I would say, nothing too fancy. And I still think it's better than the one we can find in New Balance Propel V4, for example. That fuel cell model, it has it way too thinner in my opinion. On the heel I see that we do have some rigidity, so I did like it this way because it is reinforced, it's not too soft. In the shot we can see the lining of this interior. Like I said, I believe they are 2 layers. In this shot I'm trying to show you more or less how is that midsole, how thick it is. As you can tell, it's not very much, it's basically quite thin. Usually we do see a thicker midsole than this one, but this is how they are. In the shot I'm trying to show you exactly how much of that midsole you have inside. So like you see, it's very thin. I mean, I don't think we have more than 20 millimeters, even less probably in some places. In the shot we can see the water drop test. They are the way that I was expecting. They don't have any kind of coatings, only the nylon material that it has some properties, you know, like being plastic basically. It will take some time to get absorbed, but the water goes inside eventually. And finally we have the on-fish shots. In this shot you can see my arch, my instep, the shape of my feet, for those that need this info. My first impression with them on my feet, well, they are very firm, like I said before. Very good stability because that midsole is firm, so that is one advantage in this case. And also those full rubber outsoles or almost full rubber outsoles, they do help quite a bit. The comfort is very good in these sneakers, nothing really something to complain. I did have enough room for my instep. In the toe box is the correct space, so I only wish that they were having softer midsoles, but other than that, they are good enough, you know. About the reflective materials, I didn't find any of them in these sneakers. I wish that they were having. Pros and cons for these sneakers, well, pros is the price, obviously. The outsole, I really like it. The upper is okay. Stability very good. For cons, you already know that midsole is a bit too firm for my taste. Nothing really to be scared, but this is how they are, you know. Do I recommend them? Yeah, for the right people that they are looking for a stable sneaker without too much cushioning effect, you know. This can be it for that kind of running, you know. For short distances can be good enough, but I would still suggest that you should buy a different insoles for these sneakers. I mean, those insoles aren't great. I really didn't like them, and I know that with proper insoles they can be much better sneakers in the end, so I do recommend to try to do that if you are planning to buy these sneakers. Here we can see what's next on this channel. Adizero Adios Pro 3, here with a short comparison with this Duramo RC, just because I want to show you the stack in both of them, having them in the same time in my home. So I guess I will end here this video. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. If you have any questions, just let me know. Don't forget to subscribe because that is so important for me. Please take care of you and have a nice day.